Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Lalita Vishakha, Jaya Radhesham, Lalita Vishakha, Jaya Radhesham. Jaya Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai, Gora Nitai, Jaya Gora Nitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. जय युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So we are reading from Canto 10, chapter 58, text number 25. Bhagavāṁs tatra nivasan, svānāṁ priya-cikīrṣayā, agnaye khāṇḍavam dātum, arjunasyāsa sārathiḥ. Bhagavāṁs tatra nivasan, svānāṁ priya-cikīrṣayā, agnaye khāṇḍavam dātum, arjunasyāsa sārathiḥ. Bhagavāṁs tatra nivasan, svānāṁ priya-cikīrṣayā, agnaye khāṇḍavam dātum, arjunasyāsa sārathiḥ. word by word meaning. Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. Tatra, there. Nivasan, residing. Svānāṁ, for his own devotees. Priya, pleasure. Cikīrṣayā, desiring to give. Agnaye, to Agni, the demigod of fire. Khāṇḍavam, Khāṇḍava forest. Dātum, in order to give. Arjunasya, of Arjuna. Asa, he became. Sārathiḥ, the chariot driver. Translation and purport by the followers of his divine race, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Lord stayed in that city for some time to please his devotees. On one occasion, Śrī Kṛṣṇa wanted to give the Khāṇḍava forest as a gift to Agni, and so the Lord became Arjuna's charioteer. Please repeat. The Supreme Lord stayed in that city for some time to please his devotees. On one occasion, Śrī Kṛṣṇa wanted to give the Khāṇḍava forest as a gift to Agni, and so the Lord became Arjuna's charioteer. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī explains the sequence of events that occurred during Lord Kṛṣṇa's stay with the Pāṇḍavas. He states that first the Khāṇḍava forest was burned, then Kālindī was found, then the city was constructed, and then the assembly hall was presented to the Pāṇḍavas. Om ajnānatimirandasya jnānāṅjana-śalākaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Śrī Guruve namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvāsādi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, it's a very beautiful translation. It explains the mood of Krishna for his devotees, how and why Krishna does anything. So, we know these words that paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam. So, the purpose of appearing is primarily to please the devotees, to take care of the devotees, to give shelter, to give protection to the devotees. And in general, we also understand that devotees are always protected because they never feel unprotected because they are situated with their full consciousness at the lotus feet of the Lord. So, it's a kind of situation where devotee is fully dependent and Krishna is always trying to serve them and please them. So here also, Krishna is staying back just to please the devotees. This is what the translation says. The Supreme Lord stayed in that city for some time to please his devotees. So we have this in the first canto also, that he was leaving, that is all description in there, and he was going back to Dwarka, but then devotees requested, so Lord stayed back. So on this purport, this is from Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī's commentary, and Prabhupada writes little more in detail about this particular sequence in Krishna book, so we will read from there. So from the middle of the chapter I am reading, the same chapter, Krishna marries 5 princes, chapter 58. After this, Krishna was asked by King Yudhishthira to help in constructing a suitable house to be planned by the great architect Vishwakarma, the celestial engineer in the heavenly kingdom. Krishna immediately called for Vishwakarma and made him construct a wonderful city according to the desire of King Yudhishthira. When this city was constructed, Maharaj Yudhishthira requested Krishna to live with them a few days more to give them the pleasure of his association. So this is what this verse is. Lord Kṛṣṇa accepted the request of Maharaj Yudhishthira and remained there for many days more. In the meantime, Krishna engaged in the pastime of offering Khāṇḍava forest, which belongs to King Indra. Krishna wanted to give it to Agni, the fire god. The Khāṇḍava forest contained many varieties of drugs, and Agni required to eat them for rejuvenation. Agni, however, did not touch the Khāṇḍava forest directly, but requested Krishna to help him. So, when Krishna was staying with them, with the Pāṇḍavas on the request of Yudhishthira Maharaj, Krishna and Arjuna were moving on the bank of Yamuna in the forest, and they were sitting on a bench, and where we heard about the Kālindī's, Queen Kālindī's marriage, how they met Kālindī, but at the same time also Lord Agni Dev appears them. It was near the Khāṇḍava forest. This is from Mahabharata. And Agni Dev wanted to eat this forest. I mean, Agni burning means food for Lord Agni. We see its destruction, but it is also food for, like when we do these yagyas, it is offering to the Lord. So this is how the Lord eats, in the form of the fire. So Agni they wanted to eat means for us it's burning. But so the Khāṇḍava forest, there was, I forgot the name of that, it's there in the past time. And Indra was friend to them. So whenever he was trying to put fire, Indra would put heavy rain. So he could not do anything there. And every time it was starving in a way. So now when they came to know that Krishna and Arjuna is right here, then Agni Dev immediately went. And Krishna feels obliged because I think in this Prabhupada is writing that Sudarshana disc was given by Agni. The next sentence is there. Agni however did not touch the Khāṇḍava forest directly but requested Krishna to help him. Agni knew that Krishna was very much pleased with him because he had formerly given him the Sudarshana disc. So Agni was also aware that he has pleased the Lord, and Krishna in general wants to please the devotees. So he took this as an opportunity here. And so in order to satisfy Agni, Krishna became the chariot driver of Arjuna. This is also the verse says. And both went to the Khāṇḍava forest. After Agni had eaten up the Khāṇḍava forest, he was very much pleased. And now, while performing this, Arjuna also did a request to Agni that I don't have certain instruments to fight. So he asked for a bow, quiver, all these things, and so Agni arranged it from Varuna because he knows that he has a stock of weapons. So now he reciprocated by giving Arjuna all this, his request. So at this time he offered Arjuna a special bow known as Gandiva, 4 white horses, 1 chariot, and an invincible quiver with 2 special arrows considered to be the talismans, which had so much power that no warrior could counteract them. When the Khāṇḍava forest was being devoured by the fire god Agni, there was a demon of the name Maya. So this is the sequence of now how the assembly hall came in. So Arjuna gave shelter to Maya Danav at that time. So everything was taken up by Agni, but Maya was saved because he took shelter of Arjuna. So he said, okay. So now Maya is reciprocating. So Agni, there was a demon of named Maya who was saved by Arjuna from the devastating fire. For this reason, that former demon became a great friend of Arjuna, and in order to please Arjuna, he constructed a nice assembly house within the city constructed by Vishwakarma. This assembly house had some corners so puzzling that when Duryodhana came to visit this house, he was misdirected, accepting water as land and land as water. Duryodhana was thus insulted by the opulence of the Pāṇḍavas, and he became their determined enemy. So this is what the Purport also says, the sequence, and this is what Śrīla Prabhupada writes also in the Krishna book. So we can see how these pastimes of the Lord are so intertwined. Everything is connected from somewhere, some sequence is coming, and it's all connected. Nothing is in isolation. But the most important link here is Maya Danav is trying to please Arjuna, Arjuna is trying to please Agni pleased Krishna, now Krishna is trying to please Agni. So it's all about pleasing. The whole transaction is to please each other. So but when they perform the service, it is not Agni. When Agni gave Sudarshana, he was just trying to serve the Lord. He didn't expect it that he will take something in return from the Lord in the future. So it's not a business transaction of service. It is all done out of duty or love and for personal advancement of spiritual life, we can say. So there are many purports on this in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam where it glorifies Lord Agni and specifically we will also discuss about the dealing between the devotees and the Lord, because this is what the verse says. Yeah. So Agni, as we read in Bhagavad Gita, Vishnunam pavakas chasmi. So he says among the Vasus, I am the fire. So, and also the 5 elements, fire is one of them. So it's a very, very important demigod serving the Lord, and it describes about his family in Canto 4, text 1, Canto 4, chapter 1, text 60. It says, Swaha bhimaninas chagner atmajam srin ajijanat pavakam pavamanam cha suchim cha hutabhojanam. So the predominant deity of fire begot in his wife Swaha. So we know this word Swaha, right? Every time we are doing yajna, we all chant this word Swaha, but Swaha is wife of Agni. So, yeah, the predominant deity of fire begot in his wife Saha 3 children named Pavaka, Pavamana and Suchi, who exist by eating the oblations offered to the fire of sacrifice. Purport. After describing the descendants of the 13 wives of Dharma, who were all daughters of Daksha, Maitreya now describes the 14th daughter of Daksha, Swaha, and her 3 sons. Oblations offered in the sacrificial fire are meant for the demigods, and on behalf of the demigods, the 3 sons of Agni and Swaha, namely Pavaka, Pavamana and Suchi, accept the oblation. So this is how we are offering oblations to the Lord through the family of Lord Agni Deva. Then there is in Srimad Bhagavatam 8th canto 7th chapter text 26, a small mention is about Prabhupada quote, in the Shutri mantras it is said, Agni sarva devataha. Fire is the aggregate of all demigods. Agni is the mouth of Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is through Agni or fire that the Lord accepts all sacrificial oblations. So, Lord Agni Deva has a lot of relevance in our life. We can understand like this. All our initiation ceremonies, all the samskaras we perform, it is all feeding the Lord through Lord Agni Deva. So it says that Agni is the mouth of Supreme Personality. So certainly it's a very dear personality to Krishna, and it has served Lord in various capacities, and so Krishna is trying to reciprocate this time by pleasing Lord Agni Deva, by helping him to devour the Khāṇḍava forest here. And there is also Agni Purana. A whole Puran is there which has 15,400 verses as mentioned in 12th canto of Bhagavatam. So that all the Puranas total 400,000 verses. Like Bhagavatam is 18,000 and Agni Purana is also 15,400 verses. And all these Puranas takes us to Krishna consciousness. There is no doubt about that. But this is part of Tamoguni Purana, Agni Purana. But Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī's one commentary is used in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 47th chapter of 10th canto, verse number 11th. In the translation it says, Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī quotes the following words from the Agni Purana. So I thought we will read this for the pleasure of Lord Agni Dev and all the devotees assembled here, because it is used by the acharyas in the commentary. Gopya praprachur usasi Krishnanu charamuddhavam Hari lila viharamscha Taitrekam radhikam vina Radha tadbhava samlina Vasanaya viramita Sakhi sabhyadat chuddha Vignana guna dravitam Ijjante vasinam veda Charamamsha vibhavane. Translation. At dawn, the gopis inquired from Krishna's servant Uddhava about the Lord's pastimes and recreation. Only Srimati Radharani, immersed in the thought of Krishna, withdrew her interest in the talks. Then Radha, who is worshipped by the residents of her Vrindavan village, spoke up in the midst of her girlfriends. Her words were full of pure transcendental knowledge and expressed the ultimate portion of the Vedas. So, this is from Agni Purana. So, all these demigods who are serving Krishna in various capacities are certainly devotees, but as we read from Bhagavatam, Prabhupada also mentions that because they have some desires, so they have to be going through the whole process of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Otherwise, they are certainly much, much empowered personalities and very much wonderful devotees. So now we will discuss about this particular portion of how Krishna tries to please his devotees in from the various pastimes, and there are all pastimes like that. There is nothing Krishna does but to please the devotees. That's the only purpose of Krishna doing anything, starting from the creation of this world. So when the jivas desire to enjoy and Krishna wants to serve them, so he created this material. He didn't need this material world. He just creates it for the devotees, or because we are all part and parcel of the Lord. So Krishna wants to ensure that we get enough facilities to do what we want, but with an object to bring us back home, back to Godhead. Not that he wants to keep us loitering in this material world suffering. He wants us to come back home. So from Bhagavad Gita introduction, we will read something. So Prabhupada explains that Krishna means the highest pleasure, and it is confirmed that the Supreme Lord is a reservoir or storehouse of all pleasure. This is very, very important message to understand that Krishna it itself means to give pleasure to devotees. Whatever he does, all his pastimes, whatever we are reading, this wonderful 10th canto, or right from the beginning of the Bhagavatam, it is all we can see how much Krishna is attentive to serve and take care of his devotees so that they can perform their devotional service to the Lord and remain in bliss all the time. This is the focused agenda of Krishna. He does not need, he is Atma Rama. We have this. He didn't need to create this material world. He already have his Golok Vrindavan with wonderful cows and the devotees, gopis, and serving him, all the species in loving ecstasy serving the Lord. They were lacking nothing there. But only for those category who wanted to enjoy independently, Krishna performed so many pastimes so that we can read these pastimes, we can discuss these pastimes, and we can feel a lot of satisfaction in our heart. So Prabhupada further writes, we are all hankering after pleasure. Anandmayo bhyasat. The living entities like the Lord are full of consciousness and they are after happiness. So there is no exception to this rule that somebody doesn't want happiness. Everybody, every species wants happiness. And this is because Krishna is all happiness, is reservoir of all pleasure. And we being part and parcel of the Lord, we are also hankering after that happiness. The Lord is perpetually happy, and if the living entities associate with the Lord, cooperate with Him and take part in the association, then they also become happy. So Prabhupada is very clearly explaining that how we all can be always happy. That is by continuous association with the Lord. And for that, Prabhupada gave us a full program, svānāṁ, kirtanam. We are doing it now. And that in association of the devotees, we chant Krishna's name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We read Srimad Bhagavatam, we offer Guru Puja, we do Harinam Sankirtan. This is all in wonderful association of devotees to get connected to that powerhouse of happiness and pleasure. Krishna is distributing pleasure and happiness through these processes. This is from the Shastra. So our pramana is Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So what we have heard from Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, we should do that. Certain times we get carried away by our mental ideas, mental concoction, to establish our points, but there is no point in establishing our ideas in this world. I might prove that I am right, but if it has nothing to do with Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, I am still wrong. Right? But a general understanding in the world is there, no, I do everything good, I don't do bad for anybody. But then you are not chanting Krishna's name, then you are not glorifying Krishna. Best of the activity which is morally correct, but if the goal is not to please Krishna, then it is a wasteful effort. We can circulate thousands of messages about our own glories of doing wonderful activities. I can say that. But if I am not centering it around Krishna, then it is just a wasteful endeavor. So this is the main purpose here, because highest pleasure comes from Krishna. So we should be focused always on Krishna's service, Krishna's happiness. And because Krishna is like that also. So we read from this verse, Paritrāṇaya sadhunam, in Purport Prabhupada writes, the Bhagavad Gita 4.8 similarly states that the Lord appears in order to vanquish non-believers and protect believers. Of course, the Lord has sufficient energies and agents who can vanquish atheists. So these demons, Krishna can handle, even without him coming personally. He doesn't need to come for that. But it pleases him to personally favor a devotee. That is his source of happiness. When he serves his devotees, when he pleases his devotees, then he is also feeling a lot of happiness. So, Shastra says that become a devotee of the Lord, because this whole existence, everything belongs to Krishna. Our body also belongs to Krishna. It's a no-brainer to think that we can use some asset. For example, we are in an organization and this property belongs to ISKCON. So all the assets should be used for the service of the institution. If somebody is using for his independent benefit, he is a thief. So similarly, if Krishna is the creator, he is the maintainer, he is the provider, then if we use anything independent of Krishna, which is not for his pleasure, then we are all thieves. Then how can we be happy? Then we will suffer. So this point to do everything to serve Krishna and to please Krishna is very, very important. It's not that Krishna wants that. It is not for Krishna's advantage. What does Krishna get by when I offer this flower to Krishna? What does he get? He is giving this flower. When we offer bhoga to Krishna, what does he get? He is giving all the ingredients. So nothing that we can offer to Krishna which is not given by him. But he is so loving that just by offering things which he is giving to us, back to him, he is pleased. And why is getting pleased? Because he wants to please us. When a small child brings something to the father, certainly the father pays for it. But the father appears, no, I am very happy you brought this for me. Just to give pleasure to the child. Not that the father is getting anything, but the father is pleased when the child is pleased. So it's a very much reciprocative and intertwined relationship of devotee and the Lord also. So it is very important. We should not think that Krishna needs our services. But he is more inclined to render services to us in a way. Now, if we analyze the whole creation, the sun is there available for free, the wind is available for free, whatever little wind we create here, through our so-called energies, we pay lakhs of rupees as bill. So we all know that, we have heard this many times, but sometimes we forget it. That how important service Krishna is rendering us ongoingly, without our even paying attention to it. So it is very important that Krishna is very much focused, so we should be also focused on similar aspect to serve the Lord. Therefore, he descends as an incarnation. Actually, he descends only to favor his devotees and not for any other purpose. So this is his purpose of incarnating, just to serve the devotees. Then in chapter 1, Bhagavad Gita, text 21, also Prabhupada writes about the relationship. The relationship between the Lord and his servitor is very sweet and transcendental. The servitor is always ready to render service to the Lord, and similarly, the Lord is always seeking an opportunity to render some service to the devotees. See this point. The Lord is always seeking opportunity to serve the devotees. Like Pāṇḍavas are an excellent example for that. We will read a verse from Bhagavatam on this, how Pāṇḍavas were served by Krishna in various capacities. It is 1:16:16. our Prabhu is rendering good service. He is instantly bringing up the verses on the board. The verse says, Sārathiḥ pāraṣada sevana sakhya dautya virāṣanānugamanastavana pranāmam stigdeshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha Vishnor bhaktim karoti nripatis charanaravinde. Maharaj Parikshit heard that out of his causeless mercy, Lord Kṛṣṇa, Vishnu, who is universally obeyed, rendered all kinds of services to the malleable sons of Pandu by accepting, now just see what he is accepting, posts ranging from chariot driver to president to messenger, friend, night watchman, etc., according to the will of the Pāṇḍavas. So Krishna took all these services as per the will of the Pāṇḍavas, obeying them like a servant and offering obeisances like one younger in years. When he heard this, Maharaj Parikshit became overwhelmed with devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. So this is the most important message for us also, that how much Krishna is determined to serve his devotees, always. He doesn't think what will people think about me. If somebody asks us, okay, drive my car, we will say, oh, I am not a driver. Immediately that thought comes because we are not in that mood of service. We are not in that mood of service. But Krishna is in that mood, being the master of the whole creation. He is in that mood to serve the devotees all the time. He wants to please the devotees. He wants to satisfy the devotees. He wants to protect the devotees. So Parikshit Maharaj is overwhelmed hearing this. So actually this should be position of all of us also. That if we are serving a person who is ready to serve us every single moment, who is serving us every single moment actually, then why are we not getting inspired to serve him? It's a real kind of a difficult situation if we are going through, if that inspiration is not coming. And we have a wonderful purport to read also. Lord Kṛṣṇa is everything to the unalloyed devotees like the Pāṇḍavas. The Lord was for them the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master, the worshipable deity, the guide, the chariot driver, the friend, the servant, the messenger, and everything they could conceive of. So he can do any role play. He is a supreme director, but when it comes to serving devotees, he can become anything. He can become a small child, can be chastised by Mother Yashoda, no problem. He can cry also before the mother. He doesn't tell, oh, don't beat me, I am taking care of the whole Brahman. No, he enjoys that. That is his real enjoyment. When devotees chastise him, that is the real enjoyment. And thus the Lord also reciprocated the feelings of the Pāṇḍavas. Maharaj Parikshit, as a pure devotee of the Lord, could appreciate the Lord's transcendental reciprocation of the feelings of his devotees, and thus he himself also was overwhelmed with the dealings of the Lord. So again, like Satyabhama, she wanted Parijata tree. Okay. Krishna doesn't say no for anything. Whatever devotees want, he's just providing. He's such a wonderful service mood Krishna has. We can see from these verses. He never says no for anything to his devotees. So, he's like a desire tree, right? Whatever we want, he's giving to the devotees. He's giving. Nothing he's saying no. Prabhupada writes in the purport, everything they could conceive of. So when Durvasa came, there is no food. So Krishna came also, because Draupadi was in a challenge now. What to do? There is no food. So Krishna came and solved the problem. Okay, they are ripping her clothes. What to do? Okay, call Krishna. Krishna is ready to come. Even though in Dwarka, he came to Hastinapur immediately supplying the sari. So this, depending on Krishna, taking shelter of Krishna, to become devotee of Krishna, ensures so much in our life. Full protection program. And these all examples of Bhagavatam are just speaking about that. Simply by appreciating the dealings of Lord and his pure devotees, we are doing it now, we are appreciating these wonderful dealings of the devotees and Lord, one can attain salvation. There is a verse also, Tushyanti cha ramanti cha, which is that verse in Bhagavad Gita, Matchitta matgata pranam, bodhayante parasparam, kathyantascha mam nityam, tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So just by discussing about Krishna and his devotees, we can get perfect, make our life perfect. We don't have to do anything else. This is what here is again also written. The Lord's dealing with his devotees appear to be ordinary human dealings, but one who knows them in truth becomes at once eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is ensuring us to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is how Krishna reciprocates that. If you just narrate my pastimes, discuss among yourselves, any of food I am providing, shelter, you don't have to worry about that. You just be busy in glorifying me, and then I will bring you back. Simple. But as we hear, it's not easy to be simple. We are conditioned to be living a complex and difficult life. If something comes in a very simple way, we are puzzled. How something can be so simple? We want something which is more difficult. We can't accept things which are simple. So that is also something we need to work upon in the association of devotees. When we live more simple life, we can accept and embrace Krishna consciousness very easily. The Pāṇḍavas were so malleable to the will of the Lord that they could sacrifice any amount of energy for service of the Lord, and by such unalloyed determination, they could secure the Lord's mercy in any shape they desired. So, they were in a very blessed case as we hear this relationship. They could secure Lord's mercy the way they want. And now if we analyze the abode of the Lord, it is called Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means there is no anxiety. So Krishna has everything defined so clearly. Okay, Krishna means reservoir of all pleasure, all attractive. Okay, my abode is Vaikuntha, where there is no anxieties. So there is a clear message. Okay, there is no death there is no birth, no old age. So wholesale advertisement is given in Shastra. That this is the place where I want you to stay with me. And what you have to do? You just have to follow this simple principle. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Just discuss my pastimes, glorify me, follow the program given by the acharyas, and come back home, back to Godhead. So all the arrangement he has given is to please us. But because we don't accept that situation and we try to create something different of that situation, we are struggling. That's the only struggle we have. As Prabhupada keep emphasizing this point that the solution to all the problems is that we should help a person to become Krishna conscious. We can, like if somebody is hungry, we give him prasad, explaining that we have to eat Krishna's prasad. So, not that we are just feeding poor people. So, that understanding that everything should be centered around Krishna, this is how Krishna has made the situation, so that if we follow that, we can easily get freed from this entanglement of material world. But if we don't do that, then we are struggling more, and Krishna is not happy with that. So he keeps sending his devotees to us, he keeps sending his books to us. Now he started a worldwide society, ISKCON, which is knocking door to distribute mercy of Prabhupada to every person. So much of arrangement Krishna is making just to serve the people here, serve the devotees. We don't see people as devotees because of our vision, but for Krishna, everybody is his part and parcel. And he wants everybody to come back home, back to Godhead. So he is determined to serve the devotee. He arranges Rath Yatra program world over. He is distributing massive prasadam on the world, all over the world. Such a massive program, the Harinam Sankirtan are organized all over the world. This is all to serve the devotees. This is program started by Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, to serve the devotees. So the mood of the Lord is always to please his devotees. And similar mood we should also try to inculcate, following in the footsteps of the acharyas, that whatever activities, actions we perform, we should perform just to please and serve the devotees and the Lord. That can do away all our anarthas. Not much we have to learn how much problem I have. I don't need to study that. We just have to follow this process. Just by following the process, all the anarthas will go away. But if I start attending programs to remove the anarthas but not focusing on the real crux, which is Krishna consciousness, chanting Krishna's name with full attention, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Shastra given by Srila Prabhupada, if we don't do that, then we cannot do away with the anarthas. There is no other way to do that. So our process is to engage ourselves positively. And this is how we can attract Krishna's mercy more and more. So this is what I wanted to share from here. We have some 10 minutes, so if you have some comments we can take. Yes? He's sending the mic for you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. While we chant, our mind goes on the activities that we are performing. For example, we are doing some job. So mind goes to what I'm going to do next, what I'm going to study, I'm having exam tomorrow. So is that okay while we chant and our mind runs here and there? So how to control that mind and increase the attention while chanting?
Well, I am also in the same boat, struggling still, but all we understand is certainly if the mind is going here and there, it is not okay. That was your one question. Is it okay? So it is not okay, and you understand that. And as we hear from Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he always says that I don't agree that you are not interested in chanting Hare Krishna because you are chanting for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. That shows that you have interest in Krishna. So he generally refutes that argument that we are not interested or we are not focusing. We certainly have a lot of focus and taste, so we are doing it for so many years. We have devotees here doing for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years maybe. So in my personal, I put an endeavor to have a fixed time of chanting. Like for job we have a fixed time, for prasad we have a fixed time, but somehow for chanting we don't have a fixed time. So if we just do that, it helps a lot to focus on Krishna. So if we can make a fixed allotment of time to chant our minimum number of rounds, which is 16, that is super helpful to concentrate on the holy name. Because then mind is fixed that no, now this is the time to chant. Then it will get conditioned after a while that it will stop thinking about many other things. Because he knows that this is the time for chanting. And this is the most precious activity of our life, to chant. But somehow, when we discuss with devotees, most of us don't chant as a fixed time. We keep changing the time. Because we have many important other things to do. That's good. But then we should make adjustment in a fashion that we fix a time where we don't have any other thing to do during that time. But if we can fix that, it will be a big boost to the concentration and attention. This is my realization on that. But I'm sure many wonderful Vaishnavas have different ideas and we can also hear from them. Yes?
Hare Krishna. Babu, can you say something more about this demon Maya demon?
Oh, demon Maya. All I heard from Prabhupada's purport and little bit I read in Mahabharata is that he was protected by Arjuna, Maya Danava, and then because he was sheltered from this fire which Agni created in Khāṇḍava forest, so he was very much obliged with Arjuna's shelter and he reciprocated by making this wonderful assembly hall for them, which triggered also in a way the fight between Pāṇḍavas and Kauravas, because Duryodhana was wild after he was humiliated by Draupadi there and he was determined to fight now. So again it was Krishna's arrangement, as we try to see in every situation, that what is Krishna trying to achieve through a particular person, may it be a demon or a Vaishnava, it is all performing some service to the Lord. So I understand that as Maya was also helping to speed up the process of fight between Kauravas and Pāṇḍavas so that Yudhishthira can be enthroned as the king of the whole world. Then that was the purpose of Krishna to appear. But maybe there is something more, why he become a demon, all those things are always there, but I am not aware of that. Somebody knows about it? You want to speak? Question?
Reading books and chanting. Like I do more reading than chanting because when I chant, my mind goes somewhere else. But if I read books, I can read continuously for 3 hours without getting distracted. So is book reading same as chanting?
Certainly, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita verses are not different from chanting. What is chanting? Chanting is also glorifying Krishna, and Bhagavatam is also, our purpose is to glorify Krishna. Even if somebody can clean temple 24 hours a day, he is also glorifying Krishna.
So if I miss my 16 rounds just because of reading, is it okay?
Sorry?
If I miss my 16 rounds because I read more books, so is it okay?
So the purpose of reading is to bring us to a stage where we can chant 24 hours a day. So if you are reading sincerely, your chanting should also increase, not decrease. So books are the basis, they are a foundation to increase our taste for the holy name, not decrease our taste for the holy name. For now, maybe my mind is struggling to chant, but with more reading and more understanding how wonderful Krishna is, like our acharyas are asking for more tongues and more ears to hear the holy name. They are feeling there are not enough to hear the holy name. So if we keep doing this hearing and reading of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita in association of devotees is very important also, because we need the mercy of devotees and Vaishnavas to understand the Shastra. I might read books, but if I don't get the mercy, I cannot understand anything. So this is revealed by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. There is some verse on that. All the purports of the Shastra, Yasya Deve, some Parabhakti, I don't know the words, but it says that this is all revealed by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So reading books is a very wonderful exercise, but the end result should be that your taste for chanting the holy name should increase. Maybe not immediately, but yes, it has to. Otherwise, that mercy is not coming. Is that okay, Prabhu?
It's okay. What is asking? Hare Krishna. Prabhu, sometimes devotees are uneducated or they cannot read the books. So recommendation is that if only they hear, hearing is important also Prabhupada said. So if they hear this Bhagavatam or chanting of Hare Krishna, if they hear, even sometimes they cannot chant properly. And if they hear, that is as good as chanting, or they have to chant, whether...
I mean, if somebody is not chanting, what he wants to do in his life then?
No, but he cannot chant properly. Suppose he is dumb or deaf. So
Bhavagrahi Janardana, if he cannot pronounce properly, that's still okay. But if he says, no, I don't want to chant, that is certainly not acceptable.
He don't say he don't want to chant. He say, I cannot chant. When I chant, sit to chant, I cannot chant. So I said, if you cannot chant, you keep on hearing this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That will also help you.
That is good. Yes, hearing Prabhupada's chanting is very powerful. This is how our whole family joined to Krishna consciousness. We were just playing Prabhupada mantra in our house. Nobody was interested. But by hearing, everybody started going to temple, took initiation, and everything just progressed like that. So Srila Prabhupada's chanting of mantra is very, very powerful. Just that one tune is so transcendental, it changed our life. So you are right. If we hear also, it gives a lot of inspiration then to chant and read. Yes. It starts from hearing. As you say, the sleeping person, his senses which is active is hearing. A person is sleeping, you say, Vishnunam, then even if I am sleeping, I hear my name. So our love for Krishna is dormant right now. So as you said, if we hear more, that dormant love will awaken, and then we will relish that relationship with Krishna. Yes. Thank you.
As we see Prabhupada also, when he was leaving his body, he asked everyone to chant, I want to hear. So chanting, hearing is also as important as chanting.
Yeah, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. It starts like that. Navada Bhakti. Shravana starts with hearing, then chanting, then remembering Krishna. It goes on like that. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.